to be the team call host tonight. And we're going to do some things that are different. We're going to do some things that are awesome. And we're going to get into some action. I want to honor the fact that I know it's different time zones for everyone. But what we're going to do is we're going to do some messaging together. Lauren and I have been talking about, hey, how can we do this? I just came off of my mastermind and some of my top leaders said, you know, what would be cool? It would be cool if you would give us a little bit of time during the team call to shoot out some messages. And there was some math. I was telling Lauren, I said, how cool is it, the math that was done? Like right now, there's 40 people on the call. Guys, we usually have 2.5 times this number. Will you pop out to your besties, your cross line, your sideline, your up line, just people you'd like to see their face on a Monday night? Will you pop them out a message? And we got one new person on, 41 people. But here's the basic envelope math. Let's just say that there's 40 of us on. And tonight, we each send out 5 messages. I'm going to tell you what to say. And so imagine that 40 times 5 messages, 200 messages. 200 messages. Imagine if 25% of those people said, you know what? I'm into it. 50 new enrollments would come across our team. Can you guys imagine if we did that every week? Imagine if we can get 100 people on this call sending out 5 messages and we're at 500. Can you imagine what that would mean? 125 new people joining this team. Imagine, we're going to tell you what to say. We're going to set up some meetings. We're going to make this really easy. But before we jump into that, I need to first honor some people who rocked the world last week. I want to start with our Dreamers and Actions rock stars. New rank advancements. We had consultants Brikenna Bella and Lindsay D'Agostino. Top enrollers were Lindsay Regehr, Dr. Lindsay Regehr, Jenny Thompson, Kathy Drenick, Lindsay D'Agostino, Laura Laurie, Jen and Adam Feichter, Tammy Scott, Peter Del Rosa, Kimberly Howe, April Braun, Brikenna Bella, and Amber Cook. What the way to rock it. All right, across team win, new Crystal executive from Dayton, Ohio, Lisa Travis, rocked it, director and executive within 1 week of each other. 1-star Silver Circle Crystal director, Janelle Rogers. I want to honor that Janelle hit Crystal director while she was at our top leader mastermind and while she had her baby with her. She flew in from Texas to New Jersey. New Crystal manager, Rhonda Posey, and new manager, Renee Vidiator. Top enrollers, 7 enrollments to Cheyenne Hodge, 6 enrollments to Jack Callagher, 5 enrollments, Jen Bendowski, 4 enrollments, Cindy Karabi, and Carol Klepser. Absolutely awesome and amazing week. Guys, drop a 1 if you like the idea of us giving you some ideas on what to message. Drop a 1 in the chat because I'd love to know if you think it would be helpful to do a couple of messages right now, targeted messages, tell you what to say. Awesome. We got a lot of people fired up about it. But the first thing I want to talk about, and I said to Lauren, and Lauren she has the best idea and her finger on the pulse, I think, of what we all need. And one of the things I said, Lauren, what do you think I can talk to people about? What do we need? And I'll tell you what Lauren said to me, which is she's brilliant, is she said, we got to talk to new people. We got to get people fired up about who's looking for this. You talk to a lot of people, she said, and Lauren and I both. I'll tell you what, there's one thing Lauren and I will always say to each other. We'll never run out of people. We got more people than time. We're constantly saying this to each other. And there's a lot of people that go, I don't know who to talk to. I don't think I already talked to everybody. Unless you're in witness protection, I'm just going to say that to you right now. It ain't true, honey. There's so many people out there. And guess what? More than ever before, people are looking for what we have. I was just talking to one of the top earners in Arbonne, Australia, another company, a competitor. She's in the Australian market. And she just told me, she said, like never before in her long career in network marketing, she said, people are desperate for what we have in this industry, specifically the business opportunity. And I thought that that was so interesting. Other companies are seeing it too. And I asked her, I said, are you noticing what I'm noticing? That this industry has gotten really quiet. And really quiet. But I mean, think about a couple of years ago. Didn't you go to your Facebook timeline and see so many people posting about their companies? Beachbody, Rodan & Fields, Arbonne, some of the makeup companies, some of the athleisure companies, handbags, Longaberger baskets, Tupperware. I mean, don't you remember a time when there were so many people loud and proud about their network marketing opportunity? And I don't know about you guys, but I believe that recently we've seen this vacuum of silence. Like, hello, anyone out there interested in network marketing? And it's quiet. And so what I believe that's created for all of us is an absolutely open runway and a total dynamo opportunity. Frank, I know you know what I'm talking about. Pamela, Anastasia, I know you know what I'm talking about. There's an opportunity out there where you've got a perfect storm. A lot of people looking for what we have and not a lot of options for them to connect into this industry, except the one variable is you. But who do we talk to? And I'll be honest with you, and I did this on the Power Hour, Power Prospecting call with Erica Rothenberger and Kathy Coover the other day, and I just talked about, she said, how do you make a list? Guys, there's a couple ways that I love to make a list. Guys, you probably made a list if you've ever had a nice birthday party, or maybe you had a wedding, you had a baby shower, you had some kind of just a fun party. You made a guest list. Go back to that. Go pull out your old, maybe it's dusty. When you graduated high school, who showed up to celebrate your graduation? If you turned 40, who would you want to have at your party? Those are, you already made lists in your life. Then I like to make different lists. And I like to say, who do I know that I would call if I invented something genius like the Croc shoe? You guys ever have those friends that you sit around, and I have my best friend. We used to sit around, and I'll just admit this to you. I remember being down on the beach, sitting at a beach bar, and her saying, you know what would be a good invention? A taxi with a hitch. Because we didn't want to drive home. So we needed a taxi to bring our car home. And I tell her to this day, you invented Uber before that was a thing. Guys, you have those friends that you think of big ideas with. Just the things of, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we had a business together? Well, why didn't you ever start one? Well, my best friend and I never started a business. We didn't have the capital. We didn't have the risk tolerance. I can call my best friend and say, I have a hold of a business opportunity. Remember when we wanted to be business partners? Now's the time. Who do you know who has been talking about how they'd love to change their financial position? Who do you know that maybe owns investment properties or has a multiple streams of income? I know people who work side jobs. I have a bunch of friends who are police officers, and they have rental properties and they have little businesses. I have a mom friend who does Instacart. Who do you know that is doing other things? They already get it. They have an Amazon or a Walmart store. They're doing the hustle. Then here's another trick that I like to use. Who have you done business with? Who have you written a check to? My nail girl, you better believe she'd be amazing. I've been using her since my kids were babies. You don't think she feels like a loyalty in a relationship to me? She's watched me have stronger nails, but she's watched me build a great business. Who do you write a check to? Maybe it's a real estate agent that you know. Maybe it's someone who does your insurance, who does your taxes. Do your taxes, baby. You show them your 1099. You go, look, I made a little bit of money in this opportunity. Maybe you know someone who's interested. So I go to those people, and I'm not only asking them, but this is what I do from an indirect ask. And we'll talk about this in a second, but I want to tell you how I indirectly ask some of those people. But here's the other thing that I like doing. Years ago, we used to do this in your iPhone contacts or in your Facebook friends list. Start at A and look down. And I used to say to people, don't disqualify people on your list unless they already are using Isagenix. That's the only reason I would disqualify them. And so I'd like to take a few minutes now, and I'd like to send some messages if you guys are okay with that. And here's what I like to do when I send messages. I like to put people into some kind of a box. It's easier for how my brain works. Because if you ask me, Jessica, who do you know? Brain completely shuts down. So here's what I'd like to do tonight. I'd like to send messages to people, and you can pick from these categories, somehow related to the real estate industry. So someone you know who is a realtor, a mortgage broker, real estate broker, someone who buys investment properties, someone who does flips or Airbnbs, someone in the real estate world. And that's who you're thinking about. Who do you know that's in the real estate world? And then the second category of people are people who are behind a chair in something in beauty. Hairstylists, maybe they're in a treatment room, estheticians. So someone in the beauty industry. And I'd like you to honestly think real hard. And I'd like you to make a list of a couple of people. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 5. In an ideal world, we're doing 2 to 5 messages. And this is what I want you to say. And I know, Laura, if you will you type this out? Say, hey, friend, your friend's name. I was just thinking about you because I was trying to think of the most dynamic, influential, put in your own adjectives for the person, people I know. I have a hold of something I'd love you to take a look at. Would you be
Hang on
up
one
for
second. Hang on. Hey friend, I was thinking about you because I was thinking about the most dynamic, influential, and I lost you.
people I know? I have a hold of an opportunity, partnered with $1 billion wellness brand. Would you be up for chatting about a brand ambassadorship opportunity?
I
So-
should not have been a clerk, reporter, or whatever in a court ever.
Laura, you did a great job with
that
it.
job.
So that's a message that you could send. It's a little longer. Hopefully you can copy and paste that if you want to. You can send your own message, but I want to take some time, just a couple of minutes. It's 9:12 right now, a couple of minutes, and I would send a message like this. Maybe you want to just send, hey, I would love to share with you something I'm up to that I think you could crush. Hey, Lauren, I would love to share with you something I'm up to that I think you could crush. Do you keep your options open for an additional income opportunity? So there are 3 variations of messages. Do you keep your options open for additional income opportunity? There's 3 variations of messages, and I'm willing to consider if you have any that you want to submit here, just submit it. But I don't know if, along with you guys, if you're up for it, let's send out a couple of messages. Let's send out, our goal is 2 to 5. The first person who gets a response, we're going to celebrate the heck out of you. So in the comments, let's put out 2 to 5 messages. We're going to go until 9:20. That's 7 minutes of messages. If you're just jumping on, we're sending out messages to people who are in the real estate world, some kind of tangential relationship to real estate, and or some kind of tangential relationship in beauty. There's a couple messages in the comments. I see Barb Kernan getting it in. April Braun, I see you messaging. I love it. Jen Bendowski shooting out the messages. D. Who do you know that is in beauty or real estate that we could pop some messages to? Or just whoever you're going to message. Who can reach out to? Sherry Malang, I see you messaging, girl. Keep it up. Awesome. Frank the Powerhouse is all in his message grind. I love it. Laura Laurie, of course, no surprise, getting it in. All right, about 1 more minute, guys. 1 more minute. Who can get out another message or two? Hey, friend, I am so darn inspired by you. I've been watching your social media. I am so excited because you and I could crush this if we ever partnered up. I would love to chat with you about what we're doing. It's a 2.0 version. We need to reintroduce you to what we're up to because I think together it would be dynamite. Sending that
Will you
little
read that again? I'm typing that one. Will you read it again?
Watching your social media. I am so excited because you and I could crush this if we ever partnered up. I would love to chat with you about what we're doing. It's a 2.0 version. We need to reintroduce you to what we're up to because I think together it would be dynamite. So I had talked to that person before and they said no. So I'm coming back, but that was with nutrition. That was before PVC 1, 2, 3. I just remembered like, yo, she would be awesome with the college and she's in beauty. You gotta get that going, my friends. All right, guys, excellent. We'll wrap it up. Who got a response? Who actually did it? Did anyone get a response? Drop it in. If you didn't already, I mean, that would have been super quick. That was in the last 5 minutes, but let me tell you, keep us posted. Drop in our Dreamers in Action or Builders page when you start getting responses. But guys, if you like doing a couple of messages, getting an action, we'll give you some ideas on what to say. So I told Lauren, I'm talk about making a list and reaching out to new people and being bold. I have to tell you that there are absolutely people that, oh, wow, Pamela Frederick. I love it. Pamela got a response. She's meeting with someone tomorrow. I remember that Eric Worre used to train that he would just say coffee ? Just set up people, just send out messages, coffee ? And just set up a bunch of coffee meetings with people. I remember that when I committed to going through my phone list, some people have heard this, that I committed that I was going to go from A to Z and I was only going to disqualify people if they were using Isagenix. Well, I get to N and I see Nick. Nick was a guy who sold me a Toyota. And it was a great experience. I literally only went there, bought the car that night, didn't price shop. He just made me feel so good. Felt like I was getting a great deal, bought the car from Nick. So I say, I'm not going to disqualify anyone at Isagenix. So I send Nick a message and I say, Nick, I had such a great experience when I bought this Toyota from you. I'm loving the car. I'm actually bringing it in for service. And I'd love to talk to you about something I'm working on and get your input. Would you have time to meet with me? He said, absolutely. I'll be there. Come on in when you come in, when you're here for your service. I said, awesome. So here I am. I go to meet with him and I'm like, what am I going to say? Well, I just said, hey, Nick, I don't know if you know what I do. I have a virtual franchise partner with $1 billion health and wellness brand. And I teach people how to make money online. Here's who I'm looking for. And I know that people like you, Nick, tend to know people like you. You were awesome. When I met with you and I bought that car, basically within half an hour, I was ready to go. When I did that, you were super knowledgeable. I could tell you're a hustler. I could tell you wanted to make good things happen. You had great customer service, great personality. People like you know people like you. And Nick literally said, okay, tell me more. Told him a little bit more. I'm like, the company's Isagenix. You know, it's a 20-year-old health and wellness brand. The products are amazing. They transform people. We have a 3-step simple system. And he goes, you know, here's 2 people and their phone numbers that you should call. He gives me the name of a guy who's in charge of health and wellness for a school district. And he gave me the name of a woman who teaches fitness classes and is a total hustler. I was like, awesome. I appreciate it. And he goes, at the end, he goes, what do you think? Do you think my girlfriend and I would be good at this? Would we be interested in this? And I was like, Nick, I hadn't thought about that, but yes, you'd be awesome. And guys, that's what happens when you ask people in the indirect approach. Take the people that you most admire, the people that are dream team, hustlers, high money blueprint, just networked out the wazoo, and tell them. I always say, this is like an NLP expression. I talk to people and if I think that they're amazing, I say, women like us, or people like us tend to know other people like us. So we're all together, right? Kim and I, we're like women like us or people like us. We tend to know people like us, driven. And then I say, Kim, here's who you are. You're driven, influential, magnetic, totally dynamic. And clearly you're a smart woman who understands diversified income streams. That's who you are. Tend to know other people like that. And this is who I'm looking for. I'm looking for women like us. Women with a burning desire to change their position in life, women who love health and wellness, who love to have a brand ambassadorship with $1 billion health and wellness brand. Who do you know that's just like you, Kim? People in the beauty industry. And then if I want to talk to Kim more and she's like, seems like she doesn't know, I say, you know who kills it? People that are in real estate, they kill it. People who are in the beauty world, like hairdressers and estheticians, they kill it too. And I'd love to talk to you about who you know. That'd be awesome. And then I tell people if they're a different, you guys know the driven, money, influential people that are just like, gosh, they'd love to make a lot of money. I say to them, we have people breaking records here with their income. And we do. Whether you are or not, that's inconsequential because you can look across these teams and you can see that there are people having insane success here. And I tell them, listen, what we are doing looks a lot different than what people traditionally think of in network marketing. We're doing something very special here. There's a couple of things that make this different. And then I say the 3 things I always say: innovative, cutting edge science, market disruptive products. I say the second thing, okay, honey, I'll get to you in a second. I say the second thing is we have a 3-step simple system for growing. We teach people how to do this with real business systems. And the third thing is we have a compensation plan that'll blow your mind. And here's what is special about that. We will teach you how to fully capitalize on the comp plan. Most people don't understand how to leverage a compensation plan. Here, we'll teach you how to fully capitalize it. We'll teach you how to pick up every dollar on the table. 3 things I tell people. Would you take a look? And then I'm going to leave you with this, because honestly, I think this is a thing that's missing. Now, not only are you guys all smart enough to be using PVC, so darn simple, and teaching it to all of your team, everyone. I don't want to hear that, oh, well, I taught it to so-and-so, and hopefully that she's teaching it to her downline. Honey, when you make 100% on every person in your downline, you better jump down 3, 4, 7 levels. If you see somebody that's moving and shaking, make sure they're following the PVC system, because it works. And you can frustrate yourself, and you can take credit card numbers and not use pictures and never share the video, spend hours of your own time explaining it. But here's what I know. It will never duplicate. If you want a business that's depth, duplication, and combustible in terms of income, you're using PVC. But are you also using connection? Connection creates community. And so what does that mean? It means that I hope that if you have someone, maybe they've been in this industry, there are a lot of people. Right now, I did 4 calls today with people who have been in this industry. One of them is extremely involved in the industry. I know Ashley Chico had a call with someone else in the industry. These people are making between $20,000 and $30,000 a month. Now, I will tell you guys, I hope that you never think that I'm doing my own calls only. I'm jumping them on the phone with somebody else on the team. I'm jumping the girl that I'm dealing with, who's a top income earner and another direct competitor who's looking to come here. I'm jumping her straight on the phone with Sharon Walsh. Are you kidding me? We cannot do this on our own. Third-party validation is what gets people to say yes. If I had somebody and I'm like, hey, oh, you're a travel agent? Sweet. You want to talk to someone who will knocks it out of the park in travel and wellness, who's crushing it here in this industry along with travel? I'm connecting you to Denise Wiggins. And here's what the message is always going to sound like. I want you to understand, how do you leave a great connection? A couple things you're going to focus on. You're going to keep it short. Friends, practice it. Do not send it until it's a minute or less. If it's a minute, 30 seconds, I give you some grace, no more than that. Please honor everybody's time here. Do you know how many I get in a day? Can you imagine if they were all 7 minutes long? The other day I got one that was 4 minutes long. And I want to tell you the honest truth, because I say this with love, because I want to lead you in the best way possible. I know Lauren says the same thing. It deprioritizes in my list, because I got to make time to listen to 4 minutes worth of message. It's going to, because I know you're probably going to be describing brain surgery. You're going to give everybody a long history. I'm going to hear the credentials of this person, plus their kids' names and maybe some of their family tree, if it's that long. 1 minute, you can tell people what they need to know. Here's what you're doing. You're edifying both people. And in your brain, you're saying, why do they care? When I'm presenting to people, my question I'm always asking myself is, why do they care? Okay, Lauren, you have to meet my great friend, Mia LeBlanc. Mia LeBlanc, if she says yes to this, Lauren, will crush it. Obviously, Mia, you know Lauren Frierson, one of the top leaders in Isagenix. I've talked to you all about her. Not only is she a clinical nutritionist, she crushes it at everything she does. Lauren, like you, Mia is like Midas. If she touches it, it turns to gold. If she says it's good, people chase her down the road for it. She could be at the tippy top of this company. Mia, you have to hear about Lauren. You'd be best friends in real life. If you live next to each other, a friendship would prevail, no doubt about it. But Lauren, I think if Mia hears your story of how you went from being on the lowest end of your financial spectrum to being at the absolute top of it, she is going to look at this in a whole new light. I want her to hear your story, Laura. Will you share it? And then I leave that voice message between the two of them. I do it in under a minute. I tell them each why they're amazing. And I ask them, what is the outcome at the end? Lauren, will you please share back your story? Now, if Mia is making $100,000 in another network marketing company, or maybe she did in the past, maybe she made $5,000 a month in a company 5 years ago, and she left the industry disenchanted. But I'm like, oh, heck yeah. If Mia ever says yes, get out of town. Well, then I'm saying, Mia, I want you to meet my friend, Kim Malmstrom. Kim Malmstrom came into this industry straight in for the business. Girlfriend took it to the absolute moon. Kim, you got to meet Mia. She is from this industry with a background. Now, Kim came in, she had a small background, but she took it to the moon. Mia has an insane background. And I tell you, what women like us have been able to do here with minimal experience, I just imagine what Mia could do with a background like hers. Kim, what do you think about jumping on a Zoom together with us and just walking her through the strategy of how you grew and exploded in such expediency? Would you be open to that, Kim? I'm going to let you respond back here, but I'd love to do a Zoom with you guys tomorrow at 2 or 3 p.m. Does everyone understand that the message is 1 minute long? If it's like, hey, all she needs is Lauren to be like, yes, girl, this is my story. I'm going to hear the power in your voice, the emotion, the excitement. How can you not get excited? But I used to type. I used to be like, well, this is Lauren. Lauren, meet my friend. And I'm typing and they're reading it in their own monotone, stressed out voice. Maybe they're not reading it at all because they're busy. Maybe they're driving carpool. They can't read it. It can't convey my emotion. A voice message does what a 3-way call used to do in network marketing. It's powerful. It conveys emotion, excitement. They can hear the power of Lauren's voice and her story. And she's a dynamo, and they can do it in 1 minute or less. You do it really excited. Now, I know one of the things I always learn from Denise is when you're leaving a message, you're smiling because your smile has a sound. And that's the enthusiasm and the excitement. You're smiling. And so if I can leave you with anything, use PVC, duplicate it, teach your people, do 3-way connections for people that need a nudge, people that be amazing, people that are dream teams. Sometimes they need to hear it from another person. The last thing about that, if you ask me, if you bring to me someone who's been in network marketing or someone who you think would be amazing in this business and you want me to do a Zoom with them, a lot of times Zooms are best one-on-one. If I ask you, Lauren, to do a Zoom with someone, a lot of times I'm gonna be like, ooh, I'm not free at that time, but you guys get together. Why? Because my friend will tell Lauren, a stranger, things that she would have never said in front of me. Oh, we got about $15,000 in credit card debt. She's never saying that to me. But if she said it to Lauren and Lauren's going, okay, girl, partner up with Jessica, get to Crystal Executive, let her show you the jumping off point, get out of the way. You got this. She's going to say, oh, I'm a little bit on the brink of divorce. I'm going to say, my kids are really making me nuts. I got to do something to get out of being just mom. Things that people will say to a stranger and not you. So a lot of times, and one-on-one, a lot of times that's just a different dynamic than when they feel like these Isagenix people are ganging up on me. There's 2 or 3 of them and 1 of me. And it's like, when I was at Citibank, we'd call it City Swarm. We'd show up with a table full of bankers on one side and one prospective client on the other. No one wanted to say yes to that. You felt like the Citibankers were going to eat you for a snack. So that's what I want to tell you is one-on-one is ideal. When you're sending a message, I'll send you the recording. I'll tell you exactly what happened. But if I ever say, hey, I'm going to talk to this person at 2 o'clock, don't ever be offended. The reason is because sometimes one-on-one is ideal, especially if they're a golden level prospect. There's someone who could crush it with you. So as we talked about, I hope you guys have sent out some messages. I hope people are getting some great feedback already. But if we do this every day, just pop out some messages to scary people. The worst that can happen is that they write you back and say, screw you. They're not the kind of person. They've immediately disqualified themselves from your business and they saved you a whole bunch of time. You wouldn't want to work with a snarky, miserable human being like that. Let's say they don't write you back. Let's say you wrote them tonight and they didn't write you back. I will tell you, follow-up is where the fortune is. I bet almost everyone on this message, Kim Momstrom watched us for years before she reached out. She never liked a post, never said a word, watched us for years. I bet a lot of you were approached several times. Maybe there were several interactions before you finally said yes. So here's what I do. A couple days will go by and I'm going to say to those people, hope that came through. Would love to connect. Not sure if you got my message, but I'd love to chat. I constantly follow up. When do I stop following up? If either there's 2 possibilities. If you curse at me, I put you on a 6-month tickler. Like I don't take you off my list. I mean, if you curse, I'm going to say, you know what, that person's in a rough spot. I'm going to check back in 6 to 12 months. Depends on the curse. If it's real extreme, 12 months. If it just seems a little bit like, you know what, I don't think they're interested right now, 6 months. But if it's anybody else, they go, especially if they're awesome. And then the last thing I'm going to say, this is a lot that I'm giving you, but I said to Laura, we're going to keep these calls at 9 to 30 minutes. And here I am over, but I just want to tell you this. The greatest follow-up strategy that I've ever found is adding value. So you're going to follow these people on social media and they're going to say like, oh, my son's interested in soccer and he's looking for a soccer camp. Maybe you're not interested in soccer camp, you don't know a lot about it, but if you Google one in your area, I'd send people private messages all the time with things that they asked about that I found from Google or because I asked someone else. We have a neighbor whose son is an amazing soccer player. All I need to do is send Erica a text and say, hey, where does Evan go to soccer camps? Where are the soccer camps you'd recommend? And then I pop a message back to the person who originally asked and say, hey, just FYI. And some of you have heard me tell the story that I'm in a group and I saw a girl that I thought would be unbelievable in our business. I could tell that she had been in network marketing at one time. She wasn't anymore. So I sent her just a cold message. I said, hey, I happen to come across your page because we're both in this mom's group. I have a hold of something. I think you'd be unbelievable. And I'd love to chat with you about an opportunity to really harness that influence you have to create impact and income. That's another expression I say a lot. I want to teach you when people are really influential. I say, I want to teach you how to harness your influence to create impact and income. And so I wrote her this message. I'm like, oh, that was a good message. She should be writing back any second. So I was refreshing my page. Like, obviously she's writing back. I'm probably looking for the 3 dots, check the Wi-Fi. Like, she wasn't writing back for days and days and days. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. I wrote her in follow-up. I said, hey, I hope that came through. Still nothing. But then she posted in the group a couple of days later and she asked about Philadelphia Children's Museums. And if you know me, I'm a mom, I'm a foster mom. I know about Philadelphia Children's Museums. Should you have any questions, you can PM me tonight. I will get back to you with a list of where you can go for Target Tuesday, free admission, where you should park if you go to the Please Touch Museum, when never go to the Franklin Institute. I wrote her all this diatribe about what to do about Philadelphia Children's Museums, including parking, including when never to go because they have field trips, all the things that I know about Philadelphia Children's Museums, okay? I sent it to her in a private message. She wrote me back immediately and said, hey, thank you so much for this unbelievable message. This information is so helpful. By the way, I did see your message about the opportunity and I'd love to chat with you. Is tomorrow okay? Adding value is the greatest follow-up strategy there is. Commenting on someone's post is my least favorite thing. I like to send a message and say, I liked your post. I loved your shoes in your post. Your son is a total rock star. I love watching him grow up. I love seeing the things you do. I love your travels. Tell me if I go to the Maldives, where would you stay? I know you just were there recently. What do you think? I know you just got an SUV. You have the same number of kids as me. What was your thought process? What ones were you looking at? Engage people, let them add their own opinion and add value to their lives. And it's the greatest follow-up strategy that I've ever used. Stay in with people, stay in relationships. I think, Lauren, you do such a brilliant job. I want to honor you. You make everyone feel like your best friend because you're constantly adding value with generosity, kindness, compliments, and just straight up full out value. So with that, who to talk to, what to say, how to follow up, and the things I urge you, PVC and connections. I love you guys, and I hope you have the greatest night.